Well, it has certainly been some time since streaming Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This has been a very long series on the channel, and, it's approaching 200 parts here. But yesterday, it is currently the 19th of April, and yesterday, Nintendo announced out of nowhere, oh, by the way, the, final DLC of Xenoblade 3, not epilogue story, the prologue story, or not prologue, prequel story, I don't know. No, I don't know how to words. The story that comes before is coming out less than a week later. Well, less than 1 week away from now. 1 week away exactly when it was announced yesterday, because it's coming out next week Tuesday, and it's currently Wednesday. So, 6 days away. So it's like, oh, well, that's out of nowhere. That'll be the day after my final exam of this university semester, so that's cool. At least I'll wrap up this semester of university properly, and then the immediate next day we get the prequel story of Xenoblade 3 here. But I was like, oh, I should probably do another stream of Xenoblade 3 before that point. For two reasons, and I might end up doing a couple streams. One, the series was at 191 parts before, so this currently will be part 192. I think it'd be a lot more satisfying to get it to part 200, and then part 201 is essentially part 1 of the DLC story, and then it's easy to keep track of that, instead of it being like, oh, part 192 is the first part of the DLC, then part 193 is part 2 of the DLC, a little bit difficult to understand there. I could just start it with, like, its own number of parts, but yeah, I'd rather add on to the insane number that we already have, so how about we just get it to 200? And then that's a nice, even, satisfying number. And then 201 will mark the DLC stuff. That's my plan there. Another reason why I want to do a Xenoblade 3 stream is this is a game that I've technically had on the side for a while now as one of the games that's like, oh, I'll stream it if I have the time to do it, and I feel like it, kind of like Breath of the Wild has been on the channel for the past couple of years now. But my game schedule and everything has just been like so cramped and occupied and crazy, and I've also been going ham on things like the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video essay, that I just have not had time to put into this. So there was like a lot of Ascension quests I want to do here. Hello, Gaming Templar. How's it going today? There was a lot of Ascension quests that I wanted to do. I wanted to get done like most of the Ascension quests there. I think I was in progress of Teaches. I'm not getting most of the Ascension quests done before the DLC releases. That I'm not going to be able to do that at this point. But maybe I should do these two. That might not be a bad idea, because some of the characters that are in this DLC story are going to be Rex and Shulk. We're going to be getting more Xenoblade 1 and 2 stuff, so it's like, oh, maybe I should do the stuff with the characters within the main game first, get like the backstory that comes with their Ascension quest, because I knew that they were two that I for sure needed to do, even if I didn't do everyone's. So it's like, oh, let's do that now. And if I ever end up doing like everyone else's, it'll probably be after the DLC stuff is done. So that's my plan. So a little bit before starting the stream, I got Noah and Mio up to rank 10 in those respective classes. And how I did that was just like leveling down to level 1 and then running around and killing things. And, just leveling down Noah and Mio, no one else. And it was a fast way to grind rank. And it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I'm just going to use the help of the interwebs to tell me how the heck to do those Ascension quests and figure out what the heck is going on. But good to hear that you're doing great there. Looking forward to any Xenoblade 3 DLC by chance. I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. This is just, when I loaded my save earlier, this is just where I was, because I guess it was just outside of the challenge mode thing. Maybe this is where I left off the last stream. There was like a level 46 guy over there, so I decided to start killing him, and it didn't take too long. There's probably a more efficient way to do it, but that's what I did there. Trying not to scream. Yeah, they released the trailer, like, right as I started my Fire Emblem Engage stream yesterday. So, I was in the middle of streaming Engage, and I only watched the trailer at, like, 3 in the morning last night. And I was like, okay, that's pretty neat. I guess one thing that I can do, I haven't gone through it on the channel yet, so this can be my, my putting my hat in the ring of, doing that. Hold on, let's see here. I can pull up. There are a couple things that I want to say about it. So I will have a quick look-see. I have an idea about a couple characters here, at least. Let's see here. What if I just look up Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC trailer? Let's see here. Yeah, Future Redeemed, which is a cool name there after, Future Connected. This is going to be Future Redeemed. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, sure, let's have a look-see really quickly. is what we can do. Because, yeah, there are a couple things that I want to say about it, is certainly the case. I know that immediately after this, it shows the picture with the kiddo that we never got the name of in the main game, that it was like, oh, then his name will be, and then you never hear it. Yeah, that right there. So I assume that that is either Matthew or it's like the granddad here or something. I guess N would have waited a while to attack the city if that was the case, so I assume that it's probably Matthew. But yeah. No, not granddad. No! I'm already torn apart. I can't believe that N just killed granddad. It is cool that, you know, N's gonna be in this as well, that it's like that kind of time period that, you know, you have characters like N still, not like way before that. The first thing that caught my attention when it came to the characters, though, was this character who I saw in the gameplay was listed as A, has Alvis's core crystal, which, and like same silvery hair of Elvis, so it's like, oh, I guess this is probably a different form of Elvis then, is what I'm interpreting here. And then when it comes to the core crystal, there's also the Pyramithra green core crystal on. I think I saw her name was Glimmer in the thingamabobs here. So it's like, oh, is this like the new Pyramithra and they're like one being and that's her? And then I love how long Shulk's hair is. I love me long hair dudes in video games, and Shulk pulls it off pretty darn well. I do have to say that. So I am pretty excited about that. And it's cool to have like a main character brawler type.
I don't normally stoop to this.
But yeah, I assume this is new Elvis. Most likely is what we'll see there. And then new Pyramithra. Yeah, look at him rocking the long hair. So good. So good, man. Makes me want to let my hair down and rock that kind of look, except not being blonde. I also wonder how, also, there's such different voice for Rex now, since he's so much more grown up and stuff.
I like your attitude, kiddo.
I like your attitude, kiddo.
I'll show him a thing or three.
I'll show him a thing or three. I think that's pretty neato. I wonder how he's gonna lose his eye. I wonder how Shulk's gonna lose his arm. Presumably at the end of Xenoblade 3, when everything's all restored, they'd presumably be back alive, and they're probably gonna die somewhere within this story, I would imagine. Something else that caught my attention was the arts for some of the characters that we've seen before. Namely, like Shulk and Rex, like having anchor shot, double spinning edge. Do you know what Dual Blast or Cross Blaze is? I assume that that's for, like, both the Aegis swords. But, you know, some familiar arts there. I can't wait to spam double spinning edge if gain charge on crit. Does it max out at, like, a full charge on crit? Is it like Xenoblade 2 where you could just spam it and then you have double spinning edge, double spinning edge, double spinning edge? Part of me kind of hopes so, part of me hopes not. And then, like, some familiar arts with Shulk here with, like, stream edge, slit edge, and then some new things. Also, look how cool his whole outfit is. I say it all the time when it comes to character designs, or just like clothes designs on characters in games. I love drapey clothes, like scarves, long jackets. And look at Shulk's jacket. It's so cool. It's so cool. I love that. So, you know, maybe I'll be playing a decent bit of Shulk when we, when we play that DLC later. I really hope that there's an announcer like Xenoblade 2 for stuff like that, but there probably won't be. There probably won't be. I'm sure there'll be more emotional music and stuff, as this trailer seems to hint at, and as we see consistently within Xenoblade games. Also, one of my biggest complaints with the main game of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was that it didn't do anything to further expand the story that was established by 1 and 2, like the overarching plot. Like, Xenoblade 1, we got some hints of, you know, what created the world. Not Zanza's experiment, Klaus's experiment, who became Zanza there. So we got, like, the bare basics, and then Xenoblade 2 expanded on that, grew it further, introducing things like the Trinity processor and showing this other side of Klaus that we saw in that. And it's like, okay. And we saw the conduit within Xenoblade 2, and it was left on a cliffhanger what happened to the conduit because it apparently vanished to some other dimension, whatever the heck that means then. But I was really looking forward to see where the story went from there, being like, what's going on here? What's happening? But Xenoblade 3, the main game, didn't do anything to expand on that. Just left things as is as a complete mystery, because it told its own isolated story, which I liked in some ways, I didn't like in some others. I've been working on I say been working as if it was recent. I haven't worked on it in a great many months now, but I was working on a script for a story analysis of that story. There's lots of things I love about the Xenoblade 3 story. Lots of things that I'm like, huh, that's pretty darn convenient, isn't it? But generally my biggest complaint was just that it didn't move the story forward. It didn't take like the overarching story and lore and continue to expand that. Even though the art book implied that there were plans to, considering there's art showing things like the conduit. Well, there was art that showed multiple conduits in the art book, which was really intriguing there. But it seems clearly like the DLC here is going to expand on that overarching lore and story. So I'm very intrigued to see what ends up happening here, and if it'll fill that void that I felt in my soul at the Xenoblade 3 main game. Maybe. So we shall see there. Definitely looking forward to seeing what comes of that stuff. The gift that Elvis something, or I don't know.
A gift from Alvis, she called it.
The gift from Elvis, she called it. I've seen this over a few times, but, you know, it's not like I haven't memorized this stuff. I do like the familiar vista here and stuff. So I imagine that the world of Xenoblade 1 and 2 are gonna be a lot more clearly visible, not super duper meshed together yet. Maybe if this is early enough in the stages of the world coming together, then, you know, maybe stuff like this is still around, and we saw that one Mobius that fused together, like, the two Levinuses. So maybe that'll happen with more of the world, and that's why you don't see stuff like Colony 9 here in main game Xenoblade 3. Who knows? But I'm intrigued. And what the heck is going on with that there? I don't know. We'll find out in 6 days. So, you know, not like I have to wait super long. And as always, like, the fights look amazing. I guess that was one of my complaints in Xenoblade 3 as well, is, like, towards the end, there weren't as many really cool cutscenes like that. The first big fight that we do with N was really cool, but the final fight with him was just, you know, the super generic preset animation kind of cutscene of mostly dialogue. We didn't get cool fights anymore. It seems like we're getting more cool fights in this, so I'm always down for that. Also, I'm intrigued by Prison Island. Like, what the heck is Prison Island doing here? It seems like there will definitely be a lot more familiar stuff, so I am looking forward to seeing that. Also, robot arm shoulder. Seems like there'll be a decent few battles on Prison Island. And yeah, more stuff showing like the overarching lore and story. I think those cutscenes were just taken straight from Xenoblade 2. Also, another thing that I wonder here is, since you have Alvis's core crystal, and I'm fairly certain your name was just A in like the gameplay bit there, is this also going to lead to you becoming, like, first of all, you being like a form of Alvis, and two, becoming Mobius A, or Console A? Because I'm fairly certain within Xenoblade 3 main game, there was a console for every single letter of the alphabet, B to Z, except for A. A was the only one that was missing. And you are just straight up called A. So it's like, oh, okay. And these are the same character here, right? They both have Alvis's core crystal. Maybe Alvis got two forms or something. Because you look human and you look Gormati, right? I think, I don't know. Again, we'll find out in 6 days, so it doesn't, like, theory crafting right now probably isn't too important, but I just wanted to get out, like, my 2 cents about that. So, there's those thoughts that I had there. Also, I'm gonna need to put this in my graphic design software and remove the background so I can have this as a PNG and stuff. Yeah, on the 25th, and it's currently the 19th, so yeah. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. I am rather intrigued here, but before that point, let's get this to a 200-part series, and let's do these Ascension quests for the characters that were in Xenoblade 1 and 2. Because I think I've heard about them offering, like, some additional backstory lore kind of stuff, and it's like, oh, well, if there's anyone whose Ascension quests are important to do before the DLC, it's probably those ones. And I knew that if I wasn't going to do everyone's Ascension quests, that, you know, those were a couple ones that I for sure want to do. Also, a third reason for streaming this, because I've been going ham on the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video essay, I just needed to, like, clean my eyes a little bit with something that actually looks good on the Switch, you know? let's just say that. So, you know, I don't actually know entirely what it is I need to do for these Ascension quests for Nia, and I almost said Mio and Melia there. My goodness, it's really been a while since playing this game. I'm gonna have to remember how to play it. I do at least have the things to rank 10, so that's done there at least. I'm fairly certain I need to have them in my party. I think I'll probably do Nia's and then Melia's go in like the order that they're listed here. And when I was reading up online shortly before the stream, it said something about like I need to get a discussion topic at the camp, and to do that I need to go around visiting like 4 locations in the world that help Nia refresh her memories. So speaking of discussions, when I was checking just before the stream, yeah, I have some discussion topics here. Yeah, I need more stuff there. Ionia's the Strongest is another one that I wouldn't mind doing and facing like the ultimate super boss if I'm strong enough to face it. I wouldn't mind doing that at some point in this playthrough, whether it's before or after DLC, or if I manage to get around to it, we shall see. Sure, let's do Spongy Spud eval. Let's have a little talk about this, because I guess I unlocked it during... No, I didn't unlock it during a previous stream. I think I was getting some footage of Xenoblade 3 for some other thing, and I got the discussion, like, bubbles during that time, and I was like, oh, I'll just, like, talk about the next time that we properly stream Xenoblade 3, is I think what happened. What was the context in which I briefly switched over to Xenoblade 3 just to show gameplay stuff? I was streaming something else, and then I don't even remember anymore, but it wasn't part of this, this series, I don't think. Whatever. Everyone's talking up the Spongy Spuds. Mouth-watering even if you just steam them. Didn't I say they were delicious? They look well made up. Not surprised. Got teary-eyed just from eating them raw. Not just that. My whole life, my blood is potato. We can reliably raise a sizable yield without much difficulty. This has put a lot of minds at ease. I think it's safe to say Spongy Spuds are the key to Colony 9's survival. The whole colony seems much brighter now. Everybody's getting a go of working in the fields. When people are less anxious, they're less prone to confrontation too. I just wish we had a similar way to reduce inter-colony hostilities. Don't we? Maybe we should give it a try. Give what a try exactly? Let's try spreading Spongy Spuds to other colonies. It'd solve food shortages and maybe help a little with the tension and anxiety of the war. Colony 9 certainly works as a successful test model, but are you sure this is going to work? Do our best to make it work. We're going to spread the Spongy Spuds. Hunger makes it hard to think rationally. It eats away at the heart. We need to free people from that anguish. Then let's get going. Spread the good news of the Spongy Spud. Excuse me, good sir. Do you have time to hear about the amazing news of our Lord and Savior, Spongy Spud? Can't waste any time. Call some friends. We'll continue this conversation in the Colony 9 Commander's office. You will continue that sometime else. Crusader for Spuds! They had the same religious idea that I did when I saw that dialogue. Oh my goodness. I'm almost tempted to... Whoops, force a habit turning on the Doogie Cam there. I'm almost tempted to go on the Spongy Spud Crusade. It depends on... I want to make exactly 9 parts to get up to 200 before starting the DLC. So if there's just enough space to fit that in, then I'll do it. As well, do you have to play Xenoblade again? Would highly recommend. Like, I can definitely vouch for it. But, you know, I was someone that also needed to play Xenoblade again because there was more things I needed to get to in 3, but just so many other projects and things I had to balance and couldn't get to it. And now this DLC is giving me an excuse to get back to it, even though I'm behind on so many other projects around here right now, but whatever. And let's get the feeling Colony 9 folks might be eating a bit too many Spongy Spuds. It seemed to me like they really fell in love with them, yeah. They seem to always be eating them. Hey, them's one thing. But did you hear him talking about saving Ionios with them? Isn't that what we're doing too, curiously enough? Of course it's not. Oh, is it? Well, if nothing else, Spongy Spuds are helping ease the food shortages, so people don't have to fight so hard over resources. And if they don't have to fight, isn't that saving the world? In some sense, at least. Don't get me wrong, I'm not arguing with the logic. I'm just trying to point out that there's an important point you're missing. And that is... It's this! Eating nothing but potatoes is boring as all get out. Banana cannot take that lying down. Potato cuisine contains hidden depth. Amount of possible variations so high is practically endless. With the wings of banana at spatula, can eat potatoes all life and never not be satisfied. Well, I dare say this might just be Banana's time to shine then. Seeing as how that lot always basically just steam their spuds, I think that might be a mercy. Banana will get on case immediately. Time to save world with potatoes is now. Well, there's some bonus experience. Dang it, I keep turning on the Doogie Cam out of force of habit. Also, when it comes to how long this series is and how much I've already done and still wanting to do more, it makes me wonder what game is going to end up being the longest single-player playthrough series I will have ever done. Right now, it's Persona 5. That is currently at 147 parts, but I still have like 1 or 2 more streams to go. I'm almost done. I'm almost done with it. It'll probably be around maybe 260 partish series if I had to guess. Potato, maybe then. Whereas this is currently at 192 as of this one. There's still gonna be like a full playthrough of the DLC story and then maybe post-game stuff that I'll continue doing within the main game after that. So who knows? Who will be the champion for the longest single game playthrough I will have ever done on this channel? Will it be Persona 5 or will it be Xenoblade Chronicles 3? Both insanely long games with a whole lot to do. Like, my goodness gracious. Undoubtedly the longest like playthrough of any game at all, with multiple playthroughs included, is still Three Houses. I don't think any game is taking that spot anytime soon at 305 parts. And I recently found out like a month ago that one of my streams is just lost to the void and I never even realized it from my first playthrough. So realistically, that's probably closer to somewhere like 320 if I had actually not lost a full stream to the void that's just gone forever. According to RPG site, apparently I need to go to Founder Shrine in the city, Agnes Castle, Sophronia Tree in the Forest region, and Tower Camp in the Pentalas region. Now, I wasn't entirely sure if I needed to like start her Ascension quest and then it's the requirements of her Ascension quest to visit these 4 locations, or if I need to visit these 4 locations, which gives me the discussion topic that unlocks her Ascension quest. And when I was trying to Google this, the internet was not very helpful in trying to get the answer there. So I could not get any answer on how I unlock like the discussion. I only saw things being like, oh, these are the 4 locations that you have to go for Ascension quest, without directly saying that it's what unlocks the discussion topic. So I'm just gonna visit these locations and hope that it's exactly what I need to do, because if not, I'm screwed. So yeah, I think that showed a question mark there. It's hard to see with all the icons in the way of all these characters that we'll see and the DLC story in 6 days time, you know, targeting lines 2. So here's hoping, fingers crossed, because if a scene doesn't happen here, I'm screwed. Okay, I think a thing is happening. Good. Thank goodness for that.